Hello, this is Jared playing the new game of Oxygen Not Included. Last time I was in the Oxygen Kingdom, and that went really well internally that was on the lab until I tried to go to space. And let's just say I could have done better. I'm going to go to the radioactive ocean asteroid, so I very much have to work on space travel, but I got a particular plan here. I need geoids to try this out, but I'm going to try to build a super rocket that is a rocket that has melted tiles, and I can build around it before I even go anywhere else. We'll see what happens there. It's a frozen core, so that means I'm not going to be able to generate power but from all the heat that's down there, but I've got extra cooling opportunity. The asteroid that I can teleport to is metal rich, which is always nice. Before I jump into this, I'm just going to change a couple of the game settings. Going to make radiation a little bit more difficult, disease, and stress. Alright, let's get at this. So this is who I'm going to be taking to start this mission. We have Beaker, an excellent researcher to unlock a lot of the research we need to do. Crusher to dig a path around so we can explore, and then I want someone that can concentrate on electrical engineering to get a little bit more power. That's going to be Zap. Name of the colony is Rad Dupes. Let's embark on the mission. Just before we begin, especially because everyone's frankly depressing, if I need to reload, I want to make sure everyone gets the New Hope, and I will do a specific save right here called New Hope. If I don't do this and I were to reload the initial save, I would lose that. Okay, let's just go back. Alright, well, before we get into this, let's have a quick look around. Already see some pips, some trees, we get some polluted water up here, a little water here and here, teleportation equipment is there, and let's see what geysers we're going to be talking about. We're going after. So uranium meteor showers here. Cool slush. We've got a saltwater geyser. Cool salt and polluted water vent. Pretty decent. That's I have to remember we're in the frozen core and geoids. I'm really hoping to find iron ore. None in sight so far. If there is iron, I wonder, that's an experiment I have with building a super rocket. But I'll make a plan and we'll get started here pretty soon. Okay, so I'm going to do this a little bit differently in the sense that I'm going to show how I'm doing things and not just what I built and why it works. So we're going to create a barracks and latrine on cycle 1. I want to dig out a spot for that, but I also want to save this spot here for a laboratory. For the laboratory, I'm going to have a research station here. I want to have a bin of dirt, which is the input to that, and a door right here. This is going to be my column going up and down, so we can get them started on this work. We're going to have the barracks down here. And if they need to get up and down, they can use a ladder for that. I also want to dig a path down here to get access to this oxygen early. It's also a place for the carbon dioxide that they're breathing out to fall down. We'll open this up. I'm going to save a spot right here for a fire pole. We should have some metal tiles right now. Open this a little bit for some additional airflow. With some doors, I can create some rooms. We're going to create the latrine here and the barracks right here. And in the barracks, we're going to have 3 cots. Don't want to have them too close to the door, because if a shine bug were to fly right here, well, that would be shining in the eyes of whoever's trying to sleep. So we'll create that at least 2 cots away. 3 cots for them. I'm going to open this up a little bit, just to make it a little bit more breathable at night. And in the latrine, we need... We'll put in 3 wash basins, 1, 2, 3, and 3 cots, or 3 outhouses, 1, 2, and 3. Now, because these guys are more prone to sickness than the average dupes, I want to make sure there's water in the wash basins, which is something I don't normally bother with. But also want to make sure I have this spot saved as a room. This is going to be a power room in the future. probably next cycle actually. So I want this to be a little bit lower, so I don't smash that ability to make that a room. We'll create a ladder like this and maybe dig down like that. Alright, so that is the barracks anyways, together. We'll get them to do some building on the latrine. One thing I don't want is every time they use this to get their feet wet, so we're going to dig down here just to open this up a little bit. See if 2 tiles is enough. Also, we only need to wash our hands when we're leaving this room, so I'll put that like that. With any extra time, we can work on the laboratory and power generation room. That's going to be here and here. So we'll have a research station for the laboratory here. We're going to have the other one on the other side. Get rid of this ration box. And we need to produce power for that to work. So we'll have a battery right here. And connect wiring to the first research. Even put in the second research station, which we can get together right now. And I'm going to wait to build the manual generator because I don't want someone on that running forever because there's no battery. Alright, cycle 1, and we've got our barracks and latrine, and our wash basins have some water. I'll see you in the next cycle. The dupes have just woken up, and I realized my plan here wasn't exactly right. I want to have the power room 4 tiles high. Kind of made that lined with that, and I realized the barracks is only 3, which is fine for barracks. So we're going to get, smash this door. And actually, this doesn't have to be a room for the moment, not until Zap has the ability to do electrical engineering, which is going to take a little bit of time. So we're going to put a battery in like before, connect to wire right there, and put in the manual generator once the battery's built. Let's also make it easy for the dupes to get across. We'll just put steps like this. Here, here, and here. Okay, so now that we've got a battery, we can make a manual generator. Put in the door, even though it, whoops, wrong location. Put in the door for when we do get a power plant in the future. But when this is created, we can start our first research. Let's just look to make sure we've got a laboratory. We do, awesome. We also have an idle dupe. Let's not allow that. Start to explore up. Let's get access to this oxylite right there. So I have to make my first research selection, and I have to choose between essentially quality of life and survival. So if I look at survival, that probably means on this particular asteroid that doesn't have algae, I'll need an electrolyzer. But I believe I've got enough oxylite to be able to create some amenities. We're going to create a mess hall before we actually research that. So open this area up. I'm going to be careful not to actually dig this out, because anytime you dig something, you destroy half of it. So if I allow that oxylite just to sit like that, it's going to slowly release oxygen. Now, probably don't want to have 2 dupes doing research, but I do want a laboratory. So if I cut power to this guy, it's going to mean that only 1 dupe's going to do research. It's going to be less drain on this battery while still maintaining the laboratory. So Beaker's still going to get the laboratory or the lab workspace bonus and the lit workspace bonus, while the rest of them dig towards this oxylite. I see them putting in some dirt, so I'm going to put a storage bin for that. The doors that don't have to be closed, let's open those up. This one, and this one. Barracks, on the other hand, will be closed. Now we're going to have a new dupe at some point. Let's have a cot ready for them when they arrive. And in this storage bin, we're going to be storing some dirt. So we're on cycle 3. So I want to have a spot available for this. Well, it's going to be eventually a Great Hall, be mess hall initially. I see some chunk of water that's eventually just going to make its way down here, so that's fine. Actually, let's hold off. So this mess... Oh, yeah, no one can actually get here unless I put steps right over like this. So, in order to have a mess hall, we need a door. Knock over some of these plants. Research for that is complete. So I haven't decided where I'm going to put my nature reserve, but I'm going to move the tiles over, or these tables over for a possible nature reserve here. Put in 4 of them because I am going to have another dupe in 0.3 cycles. Let's upgrade this to a great hall. I can do that by getting this and water cooler and a decoration item. The store doesn't have to be closed. So we've got barracks now. Or we have the barracks. This is the mess hall. +3 morale. Let's explore it a little bit. I'll dig up as far as I can. It's pretty much the granite. No one can dig through the granite just yet. So let's research the next thing we need for the Great Hall, which is a decoration item here. This guy, the flower pot. We could put in the water cooler in the back. I also want to carve out a spot to this guy. Early access to teleportation would be quite nice. So do that. I think maximum size of barracks is 64. We'll do that, and then create a ladder down so we can access this over here. I also want to make sure I've got the bill. I hear the new dupe sound. I'll go select a new person. Okay, so meet Whisper. Whisper is strong ranching. I really want that because these dupes are going to be eating lots of meat. They're a night owl, so let's print them. And before we go too much further, let's look at scheduling. I'm going to put schedules in blocks of 2. Which means I'm going to choose Whisper. Oh, hold on. Actually, maybe I'll put Whisper on a different schedule altogether. Down here. Where they're going to work forever. Not really. Just temporarily. So that's going to be Whisper. And then, essentially I want 2 dupes per cycle. Let's put Zap down here. So they're going to have downtime like this. Bath time like that. Just offset from the first 2 dupes. Okay, we have research complete on a flower pot. Let's put that right here. Let me check the schedule. I do not want to forget about Whisper. So they're going to have bedtime like this, downtime like that, and bath time right there, which means their 3 owl bonus are fully open to work, which is great. Oh, we're leaking water here. Well, you know what? Let's just smash this open. I forgot. Anytime you have just dirt between you and water, it slowly leaks through the tile. Which means some of these guys might be eating with their feet wet. I'm hoping they don't get too stressed out. Oh, look at this. We get a mithril leaf right there. Or mirth leaf. Let's plant that. And if we get that, I think we have our Great Hall. Whisper's cutting out this area here. Okay, I'm going to wait to mop this up because this is very thick water. If I allow it to drain out, it's just going to save some work. And I want to plan ahead. I'm going to get more dupes. And you know what? Let's. I've got a Great Hall or a Great Hall coming. Oh, I should be Great Hall now, actually. Yep, it is. +6 morale. Now let's focus on life-sustaining research. We can look at electrolyzers, guys. That is up here. Okay, so research is complete on the pump. That's the first thing we need with the electrolyzer. So I'm going to put that right here in this tiny water spot. I'm going to put the electrolyzer right about here. That needs both power and water. So we'll bring up the wiring for that. We'll bring up the pipe for that. And we just need a little bit of research. How is water going? Just allow that to fall out a little bit more before we spend some time mopping. Zap is producing some power for us. Beaker is on research for that new electrolyzer. Now that electrolyzer obviously is going to produce oxygen, but hydrogen as well, so we'll have to be aware of that. You don't want so much hydrogen that actually chokes out the base. But that can be solved with a hydrogen generator in time. Okay, so electrolyzer is going in. Let's make sure I actually hit the power I did. And with the water pipe, we hit that. It's just a matter of building all this. Oops. I think we're at the point we can do some mopping. Did we plug? I forgot. No, we did not. Okay, we need to plug this pump in. The next thing I'm looking to research is this jumbo battery. And with that, I'm going to have dig out this spot for this power room. I'll start to bring this wire over where eventually I'm going to have that jumbo battery back here. We'll cut out a spot here. Eventually, I want to go and block this guy off because that's going to produce lots of heat. And that's close to my base, so that's not a good thing. I don't have the ability to dig through abyssalite. But actually, I could get through this way. But you know what? For the time being, I think I'm just going to be fine if I can just get close to it. And we can worry about that later. Because what temperature is this? I'll think about that one. Let's just take a path to it for now. So there's that. There's the jumbo battery going in. The other thing is I want to very soon... Ooh! Haha! Iron ore! Nice! That's not normally something you get on this particular asteroid. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that yet, but that's exciting for the near future. Alright, so with the jumbo battery created, let's then look at a rock crusher. Because I want access to some metal. We're going to have a new dupe at some point. Let's make actually 5 and 6 tables and an additional cot. So we're ready, not caught off guard when someone arrives. Going to focus on completing this because I really want this guy to outputting oxygen. Don't want oxygen to get too low. Just trying to measure out a spot for my jumbo battery. I like to try to avoid not recreating things if I can. So I want to have a spot, planning putting 3 manual generators, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to have my power control station right next to it. After that, that's going to be a hydrogen generator controlled by a smart battery. And then that means this will be a good location for a jumbo battery. Would not mind having this oxylite opened up, but we're going to need a ladder going across to get access to that. Still debating whether I go through here. I can look and see when Crusher's going to get their next skill. They're probably makes sense. Let's just wait for them to up their skill. There's our jumbo battery going in. Oxylite is opening up. Next thing I'm going to research is smart home. I'd like to have this dupe sensor to turn on and off lights. To decide where this rock crusher is going to go, got some water in the way, so I think I'm going to put that here. I just have to decide how I want this laboratory set up. I'm going to have a supercomputer here at some point. Probably a storage area for water underneath. That means I can then have a door over here. And this will be where I can put my rock crusher. Also expecting this to be a hatch. Well, let's dig this whole thing out. We'll just do a double door just to get the oxygen allowed to pass through easily. So at this point I don't have mesh. I'll do the same thing over here. I don't have mesh tiles. So this is the little trick you can do until you have that research. After a smart home, I'm going to get the advanced research capability. So Beaker doesn't have that ability yet, but he will soon enough. In fact, did he just get that skill? Just as we spoke, I think so. There we go, advanced research. Whisper, I'm going to give farming because I want to get critter ranching at some point soon. So there is the hatch. That's a potential food source. We're going to use excreting coal, consuming very probably dirt. We've got a path over here. We don't have... soon we'll have someone who can dig through this, but the plan is to cut through like this. I want to have this tile open so that water will go down here instead of in my base. Also means we're going to have access to these guys pretty soon. As long as I can get in there before it gets too hot. Someone's skill crusher, awesome. So now we can dig through granite and zap. We eventually want to have electrical engineering, so we'll need improved tinkering to start with. That means we can dig through here and go in and close this guy. Hopefully when it's not running. In the meantime, too, we can build a supercomputer. So let's switch this guy out, research station, for a supercomputer. Beaker is very excited about that, taking that old research station down, making that a supercomputer. Now, I didn't plug that in. I definitely do want to plug this one in. Excellent. Oh, no. Okay, that's not as much... I was worried that there was a massive amount of salt water. I think we can deal with a little bit of mopping. We don't want to go any further, Beaker, though, until we've got a moment where this thing is standing idle. We can do some mopping up. Oh, I don't think we can mop up here. We might lose those trees. We don't want to lose those trees. I was planning on actually keeping them, so let's do this as a high priority task. Speaking of which, let's go to priorities and tell Crusher to focus on digging. You're the only one that can dig a lot of things. But I don't want those trees lost. This is going to make a mess of the laboratory, but we can mop that up. Whereas the trees, once they die, it takes 18 cycles, I think, to get them back. And we have to work with a pip. Well, Pip would probably just do it themselves, but still, I don't want to wait that long. The reason I want these around is because they're going to be part of a stable. That's one of the things I'll research soon. I think the next thing to research with a supercomputer is a fire pole, just to enhance the downward speed these dupes can travel. You can see some hydrogen is starting to build up. Oh, it is time for another dupe. Or pipsqueak. Well, we have a bunch of pipsqueaks, so we're probably not going to take that. Trying to decide between these two dupes. Increased air consumption? Absolutely not. You're not welcome here. And someone that cannot do researching. Early on, that may not matter, but eventually everyone's going to be having that skill towards the, I think it's exosuit, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, not necessarily. You're a maybe. Cannot do cooking or yokel. And you've got the exosuit skill, tidying, decorating, doctor. There's just not great useful interest to have at this point, I don't think. Let's do a reload. So I'm going to make a quick save here. I'm going to call this new dupe. And try reloading to get a different option. So I like this option more. This is Tails. I'm going to rely heavily on ranching. So with a +8, this means that the groom effect duration is going to last 80% longer to start with. And their skills will just get all the better as time goes on. See, some salt water made it down here. Can't mop that one up. Let's do this then. Create a tile here and here, trap it. And then we'll create a tile to destroy it. Let's take this moment where this guy may be idle. To get across and... Okay, maybe not at the moment, very moment, but soon. We'll see if someone can sneak in and create those ladders. Now, I have to remember, every time I get a new dupe, I may want to put them in a different... Put Tails here. Having 2 dupes on a cycle on the same break means we don't have to have as big as a washroom. And it also is kind of nice because someone's always doing something rather than having this period where everyone's sleeping and I'm just kind of like waiting around for someone to wake up and build some of the things that I'm asking for. Alright, so 2 tiles are created here. If I create this tile, we can destroy this. Just don't really need salt water at this point, and I don't want salt water to touch this thing. What this... this is just temporary. I was going to say they're going to get their feet wet. But someone create that for me, and I'll destroy that so that water can drop. Okay, with those tiles created, I can destroy them again. We're going to also cut this out so that water will eventually get down here. Alright, so we've got a ladder. We're going to continue to wait for that to cool off or get idle. And just wait for some research to be complete. I don't know if I'm being premature, but I think we might, maybe, are able to get in here. And start the seal off process. If we're able to, then maybe let's make a quick rush for the dupes. They're on their way over. Making this out of igneous rock, not that it matters. Probably don't have a lot of granite since I only have 1 dupe that can cut that out. We're doing good. Yes, it's hydrogen. I know you don't like that. We'll get you out of this zone. This is going to pay dividends if I can seal this off now. Alright, catch your breath. Pick up some more material. Yes, I know you're getting your feet soggy. So stress is going up. They're, frankly, depressing dupes. So I'll have to be nice to them, but if I can seal this off... Oh... Almost. I don't know. Tails is on the way. You might be up for a bad experience, Tails. Let's look at temperature. Should I be allowing this? 75. It's not... Okay. I think we're good. Okay, we got it. Awesome. Alright, so that just means that thing's gonna accumulate and then overpressure itself. And we don't have to worry about excessive heat coming from that, from this point on. Awesome. Okay. So just looking at calories, we're at 7,000, the dupes eat 1,000 a day. Let's dig, first of all, some of this excellent fruit out. But in addition to that, let's start producing our own food. Now I'm going to go for the locavore carnivore. I tend to always do that. But let's plan out where that's going to be. I think I'm going to have, or where I'm going to produce food, given the fact that I'm not going to farm, at least early stages. I'm going to have that sitting right here, because I'm going to have, at some point soon, a pitcher pump right here with water. I'm going to put it like that and just realize I need those doors at the wrong location. We'll bring them over by one. And we'll put in the micro musher right here. And behind that, there's going to be electrical grill. And then we'll see if we can get a rock crusher behind that. Okay, let's take a moment here to plan this out. The micro musher is going to go right here. I'll put another bin here of dirt. So that's going to be input to this guy. This guy also needs dirt, so 2 of those, that's fine. Electrical grill's 3 wide. So the rock crusher can be moved. Oh, 2 more pieces of food. So I can't build an electrical grill, or I can, never mind. I just don't have a dupe that can use it just yet. But that means I can get a rock crusher in right here. But I just want to think about the lighting source. Now that should be perfect there. We'll even create the first piece of mush bar with dirt and water. Ugh. This door doesn't have to be closed. Check the other doors. We're good. So we're storing dirt here. We'll store dirt here as well. I just realized no one can actually get to the pitcher pump. I better let's make that high priority. We now have a rock crusher. So there's lots of aluminum ore, so that's going to be the metal of choice, aluminum. Create several pieces of that. We may need another manual generator to support that, we'll see. Actually, we definitely will need one to keep this guy running. Research is complete now that this has been unblocked. Alright, looking at research. Well, that's a fire pole. It's an easy thing that we want to put in. But looking at research, where do we go next? I'm either concerned about hydrogen or the production of food. I think we've got a little bit... I think we should focus on food. So we'll get ranching research done next. So fire pole is going in. Let's put in a second manual generator right here. Very much thinking about sending Crusher over to this other world pretty soon. So one thing I don't want to do is bring someone over when they're just about to go to bed to another world, because they have to set up a cot and an outhouse when they get there. So I think this is a good time for Crusher to go over. See destination. Where are we going? Okay, so it is the flipped asteroid. A little bit of a distance between the two worlds. What do we have in terms of geysers? We've got hydrogen vent, steam vent, sulfur. Well, it's going to be hard to get. And cool steam vent. Metal-rich asteroid. Awesome. So let's go back to our homeworld. And wait or select Crusher to go over. While they're on the way, I can inspect. Get a data bank, which I won't be using for a while. So Crusher is excited. They're going to be the first dupe to use the teleporter. I'll click the button, teleport, send them over. And the first thing I'll get them to do is see who this new friend's going to be. What I'm going to do is save just in case I don't like them. New dupe. Defrost a friend. And another zap. I love the fact that you name a dupe something, the game starts suggesting those names to you. Let's see. Oh, a narcoleptic. No, I think that's not going to be allowed. Alright, I've reloaded, and this time we get Sadie. So Sadie is interested in ranching, farming, and rocketry. Now the focus now is going to be, again, similar to Cycle, one barracks, and well, not necessarily a barracks, but at least a cot. We'll put a cot over here. Well, we need to get some resources to build from, plus dirt for an outhouse. So we're going to put an outhouse right here. If we can, soon. Once we get some resources. We get some metal cut out, too. Alright, so we should be able to get an outhouse. And we will put a cot right here. Now I have to decide, do I want to keep both dupes here or send someone back? I think we'll keep both here. If that's the case, we'll want another cot. Put that one right here. And this is where the multitasking part of this game begins. So I'm doing these tasks. Yeah, that's all great, but we can't forget about these guys. We don't want them to be idle while they're building their fire pole right now. So I'm going to go and think about several things to keep both these guys busy. I think the focus for these guys is going to be a ladder going up like this after their cots are together. Create that. Now, we have algae over in this world. So research is complete. That is the stable. That's awesome. Because this new dupe, Sadie, has 2 skills. No, sorry, 3 upgrades that we can do. So we can give them critter ranching right away. I won't do that at the moment. But now that we've got the research for a stable, that's really awesome. The other thing I would like is ag removal from a stable. So that's automatic dispenser. Let's start researching that. So thought of one task these guys can do, which is automated lights. So the kitchen area doesn't have lights, nor does the rock crusher itself. So for the kitchen area, we're going to put a ceiling light here. And for the rock crusher, we'll put a lamp right down like this. And if we've got enough metal, we'll connect these two and connect this over here. And just make sure that lamp has light. It does. Awesome. And yeah, let's keep you guys busy. We'll take this out. Start cutting out like this. And while they're doing that, slow it down just a little bit. Let's have a look around. See some oxylite. I see some of these critters around. It's probably quite cold by the look of all this blue. Though, nice thing is we've got basalite here. Not so much on this side. But there's going to be lots of hatches down there. That's the main reason I came here, is to get access to these hatches. But we want to set up a decent living area before we kind of get busy with that. While these guys are sleeping, we can design their basic oxygen system. So we're going to have save a spot for fire pole right there. The oxygen diffuser, this will sit right here. We'll connect that with a wire like this, and I'll build a manual generator later. Let's make that the highest priority. Open this up for oxygen to go up. Just having a look at this, the first priority I want to do is make sure we've got morale boosting spot for these guys, because I don't want anyone to freak out. But it's actually kind of unique, this asteroid, at least from what I normally get here. I almost always have this area surrounded just like this, frozenness leaking in on both sides, but that's not happening on this side. We may get in some slowly in this direction, but it's going to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to take advantage of that. We're going to dig out this spot. This will be our initial living area. Create tiling like that. Maybe we can stop there. And we'll create a great hall, a barracks, and a latrine. I don't think any of those guys can dig through Bissolite. That shouldn't be a problem for the time being. Oh no, who did we brought Crusher with us. Oh yeah, Crusher still doesn't have the ability to do that. They can only go through granite. Do not build that tile above your head and get stuck down there. In fact, you know what? I know they're just going to. So I'll do that for now. Fire pole is going in. Opportunity for some research. Alright, what is next? Let's do hydrogen. Do hydrogen. Oh no. Do we have gas pumps? Maybe that makes sense to do first. Yep. And the kitchen won't actually have that light turn on unless there's a wire going to it. Second electrical or manual generator going in so we can produce more power at once. We're going to have a new dupe pretty soon. So these guys are looking for something to do. First of all, let's create that. And probably more important than anything else, let's put a manual generator right there. And I can start to create some rooms. Now I don't plan to put a big base here. I want to try to minimize it. Let's just allow that to go. If this needs to be a room, that needs to have a tile there. But I want to have most of the base here and try to minimize the amount of multitasking. First of all, I need to have a great hall. That's going to be 32 tiles, so that will do there. So put that in front. Then how about we put a latrine here. So we'll put 2 wash basins, 2 outhouses like that. These doors don't have to be closed. We want a great hall. Let's get 2 mess tables together, water cooler, and a flower pot. Point these so that only wash their hands in that direction. While that's going on, we have to flip over here and we see it is time for a new dupe or a suit. I generally always prefer a new dupe at this point. I was tempted to take this dupe here because they're interested in cooking and I want someone that can cook. I'm going to bring this dupe over and I'm going to give them the cooking skill, though I might want to have someone else to have it. I want someone to be able to have access to the grilled tails. Let's give you improved farming because you're going to work towards ranching. We'll create a few pieces of this terrible mush bar. But now someone can use this so we can make mush fry. We'll do that forever. Well, not forever and ever, but yeah. Research is open. Is there anything we want? I very much would like to have someone soon be able to use the power control station. Or no, let's do a hydrogen generator and then that. So next thing I want to do, I want to avoid the dupes having to pick up water and go back and forth to the supercomputer. So we're going to create, first we're going to drop this. Generally I like to have all my rooms of height 4. So maybe we'll poke out some holes like this. And get that built. Let's check over here. Awesome. We'll need a brayer seed to complete that. But that's good work, dupes. So let's get exploring both up and down. And we'll start looking for some hatches. We also want to get access to the teleportation equipment. So this is going to be ability to send stuff back, which is going to be useful. So my plan is to get access to some of the hatches and send them back to this world. So getting a path over here would be very useful. Alright, so we'll be able to get, with Crusher's ability to go through granite, that shouldn't be too difficult. We'll need that plugged in too. We'll also need to get someone with field research and in time to get over there. But we'll plug it in the meantime. So that gives them something to do. Over here we've got research going on. Good amount of food for the moment. Okay, so yeah, excellent. We did... this might... I don't know how disruptive this is going to be. But we want this to be... Actually, you know what? Since I always want to have this backed off from this distance anyways, let's close that off like this. So this can be up to 64. Oh, look at that. I did not plan that. That just kind of happened. What's the schedule? Can I get rid of some cots? Whisper is going to be going to bed soon. Let's try not to do it too disruptive. Let's take a few out at a time. Whoops, not that. There we go. Alright, so we want to recreate these cots just lower. And what I'm doing here is giving myself a spot for water to collect here. We'll see that in a second. So before I destroy any more cots, we'll build these two first. So the hydrogen generator has been researched. Let's get the smart battery and power control station. See Whispers in bed. Dig out the side where we can. Open this up, change that door as well. Alright, let's take out 2 more beds this time. Right there and there. And let's clear this out. We're going to be fighting with a pep. You know what? Let's just make this like that, but do that at low priority. So the dupes have nothing else to do. They can build that. But I don't want that pip to plant anything. We can start cutting out this spot here for water. Two more cots to go in. Now this is going to be a pitcher pump sitting right there. Oh, you know what? I think we have to do this in a certain order. I think we have to put this in first. So the idea is I want to dump liquid right here for that pitcher pump to have access to. Let's do so no one's without a cot tonight. Do that at the priority. Over here, they're still trying to connect that. So once they're done that, it's pretty much just about exploring, getting access to hatches. So any of these buried objects is a potential hatch. Or would also be good to complete our Great Hall. The Brayer Seed. Oh, speaking of which, I just saw it. That's going to go in right there. Alright, we'll move these 2 beds down. Can open this up. Make that a tile. That might disrupt Beaker for a moment, but that's alright. So what we want to do is bring water in there. That's going to have to be a tile and tile. Let's do this one at the priority, otherwise we could make it such that they couldn't get across. Although maybe they could with the door. So that's going to be a pitcher pump. This means we know, we'll keep it now, but we'll be able to get rid of this pitcher pump. Okay, let's put in some of this power stuff. So hydrogen generator, that's going to go right here. I probably don't have enough metal for the... Oh, I do. Okay, excellent. Look at that. And with the hydrogen generator, I don't want to operate that until I have a smart battery. I do need more metal to make that happen. Let's just make another 10. But ultimately, we're going to want a pump to take the hydrogen and send it into the sky. But I'm not going to fully connect it just yet. Now, that pump is going to need some power. So we'll put that in. See progress here. So I'm going to make a ladder just right up the center. Get access to that oxylite. And then once we're up there, we'll start digging out towards the various pieces of buried objects that we've got around. Now, I don't... Someone has radiation poison. Hold on. Oh, I wonder if that... okay, they are more susceptible to radiation. That's something I'm going to have to be careful with. Okay, fair enough. Sometimes in pieces of coal, it's harder to see that it's buried objects. All right. Okay, so we'll let those guys start doing some digging. Now, over there, they're going to have some hatches, but I can't teleport hatches, but I can teleport hatch eggs. So if we make a stable, get a bunch of hatches, we could, in that stable, then we could easily send a bunch of eggs over here, which means we're going to want a stable of hatches built over here as well at some point. Now, I don't think anyone has the ability to do this yet. Let's check. No, but when we do, we'll put some aluminum and up the amount of power. And if we're going to do that, we're going to overrun our wattage on this circuit. So let's upgrade this. We'll need a transformer somewhere. So maybe stick that right at the exit here. So that transformer is going to take that. Okay, we're going to need some more aluminum ore, looks like. Where should I dig that out? Start over here. I don't want to... If I can avoid it, I'm going to try to avoid the hydrogen area for as much as I can. I'm kind of forced to do the pump. Okay, I see a shine bug is down this... right, more metal. Let's do some digging for some aluminum ore at high priority, because I want to create a door here again. Not here, but one here. Because I don't want this guy... Please don't go over. Please don't wake anyone up that's going to be sleeping here. The other thing is oxygen is getting a little bit low, because I don't have enough electrolyzers. If I build one right here... Oops. Well, I need more metal ore. Just need to be patient. Okay, there we are. Another electrolyzer. Second one is going to go right here. That needs some power. as well as some water. Let's go visit these guys here. I want to start the process of making a stable. How about we build that right here? Do that like this. It's going to be 90, well, eventually it's going to be 96 tiles. We can start with the smaller one. But a stable's got a grooming station in it. It will have a place to feed these hatches. That is right here. And a place to drop them off. What we're going to do is build this upward. But it would also... Oh yeah, we don't have any metal. So we'll not do lights for the time being. That's fine. Create a door here and here. But we need to find some hatches. I don't know if we have found any so far. We'll keep digging. So over here we can get rid of this guy, the old pitcher pump. I see some liquid water is sitting here. That's excellent. So that makes it very easy to put water in the supercomputer. I wouldn't recommend doing that at home, but apparently these guys have a supercomputer where you can mix electronics and water easily. Let's have a look. So this is deco. Eventually going to be doing some decorating, though we probably will have other priorities in the meantime. Alright, let's get a floor for this transformer. And eventually we're going to have a regular watt wire coming out of this. Oh, let's put in the heavy watt wire too. And that's going to be our new circuitry separator between this eventual heavy watt wire and low watt wire. Also, let's take this out just to improve the amount of oxygen that gets in here. We've got some dupes that are running. Be very nice if they could breathe easily. But this electrolyzer, what has that done? Things are starting to look better around here. I do see a lot of polluted oxygen. How about we do something about that? I think we can do that easily with a deodorizer. And it is time to put in our smart battery. So that's going to go right next to the hydrogen generator. And the idea is that we'll turn this off when there's enough power. So we're not wasting that hydrogen. Transformer is sitting there. Hold on. So now we can cut this right here. And we have two separate circuits at this point. If we connect this upper circuit is providing power down here. And this is really nice. This means we cannot get an overload over here because there's a maximum of 1,000. So that is going to protect everything that's on this side, or it's going to protect the wiring really. And now we're free to produce a lot more power over here. So I can have 3 manual generators. I can operate the hydrogen generator. But I'm still going to wait for this smart battery. So the idea is, let's make this 99. So any small amount of power missing from that, this guy can start to consume. Now, the other issue is, this is going to take in hydrogen. Some point, it's going to take in oxygen if I'm not careful. Where's research? Let's put in, for now... Oh, I don't need a button. I can actually just pull the power when that gets too low. Okay. Before food gets too low, let's make more mush bars. And with any extra time, let's start creating tiles here. But I want to be careful not to make sure all the houses at the same time are out of order. I just realized these guys don't have access to wash their hands. Maybe that's something I should focus in as a priority. Still no hatches that I see yet. Just realized I have not been dividing up the schedule. So I'm going to send Pop and Deco down here. I'm also going to send Deco over to the other world because I think more help is needed there to unlock all these hatches that have not been found yet. I'll wait for Deco to get there. One thing is I wish that you didn't have to click this button. Sometimes a dupe can be forgotten in this little teleporter if you're not careful. Okay, so now we've got 3 dupes here. I want to have... Technically, I don't have everyone in a barracks. Let's do that. Okay, so we'll create a cot right here and a cot right here. And we'll do that at priority. So that everyone can have a cot when their time is to go to bed. So research is complete on the deodorizer. So let's put in, this is a new item we can use too. I'm just realizing too, let's do 2 things. First of all, let's put in our 2 deodorizers. Most of that stinky air is probably coming from over here. Though actually some of the bottles have gotten down there. So why don't we put some down here as well. So we'll put in 4. Start with 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's going to start to clean there. The other thing I want to do is relocate this just up 1 tile. A little bit of disruptive, but it's easier to do it now than when it's even bigger Great Hall. So we'll put that right there. And once these items are removed, we'll actually make a new floor. And then we'll have a new area to eat in. And from this point on, early on, I sometimes will make the exception. I'll make smaller rooms just because you gotta have, well, you don't have to, but I generally like to have a room available early on. Okay, let's put a door inside this updated Great Hall. How many dupes we have here? 5 on this particular asteroid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put a little bit more. Some of those other dupes will eventually be back. Flower pot. And if that's the case, we can dig this out. We can even put in some airflow tiles. No longer need to do the double door trick. Let's fill that tile in at high priority. Oh yeah, we need some power in order for deodorizers to work. So these guys are looking for something to do. Let's put tile right there. We need to get this water out of the way. I want them to dig out around here, but it would be a lot easier if I get that water down first. And let's look to see if there's any missing buried objects up and around here. Dig out all of that. Oh, I see one right here. Sometimes those hatches are difficult to see. It's sometimes a lot easier to look for them at night. There's also potential for one right here. Might need a ladder to get up there depending. Okay, priority right now is to get this back to a Great Hall. So we get nice and high morale. Why was... Oh. 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 Okay, we need more cots. We need more cots. Okay, let's get a bunch more cots in this barracks. We'll have a look at research. I think the next thing is incubator. It's going to make us able to get the eggs to hatch quicker. If the dupes don't have anything to do, I guess we can work on some floor. We need more food again. And we'll do a similar thing here as well. And into the kitchen. We'll do that one at a time just so we don't have a hole that no one can jump across. Alright, let's look at the stable. The stable is 123. That's too big. Let's try cutting it right here. Creating a door. We can actually flip a door around like this. And that's going to make a size of 83. Well, we'll need to dig out a little bit more, but we might need some of that copper anyway. And in here, we want to feed them. Let's give our hatches that are not existing right now. But we'll feed them some sandstone, since we have tons of that. And then I think we need to start digging out in this lower zone. All these buried objects. We've got to find some hatches in here, right? So our power situation is doing really well. We're lined up with hydrogen. That's making its way to this hydrogen generator. We've got the automation to take that off. We've got a pool of oxygen, or hydrogen rather, for that to go in. Come back over here. No more hatches, but we've got all kinds of spots to look for it. Okay, we are in business. We found our first hatch. Have I given the skill out to CD? I don't think so. No, okay. Improve farming and critter ranching. 1 and 2. Crusher, let's give you Abyss Light. And I think the priority right now is a lot of digging, so let's give you hard digging deco. Over on the other asteroid, this is exciting. We can give Zap their electrical engineering skill and Beaker field research, which is useful because that gives us the ability to unlock the teleportation. Whisper, critter ranching. Okay, so we're moving along. I can now wrangle this guy. What size do we get? 90. So 6 more tiles to get the maximum 96. Let's just cut that. Let's throw our hatches down here. Maximum of 8. No, 8. Drop them off in that room at high priority. Let's make a high priority task of using the grooming station. Alright, and what I need to think about doing is getting Beaker to come over temporarily to enable this machine to start running. But we also have to have the opposite machine here that's... do I know where that is? We may have to explore a bit more. Oh, hello. It's right there. Well, because of this water, maybe the best way to get to that equipment is to go like this. And time for, well, it could be new dupe. At this point, I might want... I'm a little bit worried about bringing another dupe on, but I think we're going to be fine. It'll be okay. It'll work out. This is a dupe that's interested in cooking, so we're going to have 2 on that. Let's give them their grilling skill right away. Tails. So we have 2 dupes now over here that can do critter ranching. We've got to build a ranch. That's got to be the next priority. Okay, we'll start that process now. I see an idle dupe over here, so first of all, let's wrangle this hatch and dig a path out to more of these buried objects. And where it's taller than 4, maybe I'll try to get up like this to avoid having to build ladders. So we should have 2 of these guys in our stable, which is awesome. And this is a high priority task, so Seed is on the way to give this guy a grooming, which is going to create more eggs. The other thing, I guess, oh no, that isn't activated yet. You got to get access to this guy. In fact, you know what? Let's, I don't know if the teleportation equipment is ready. It's not. No, okay, we'll have to wait. But as soon as possible, I'm going to get a dupe over to activate that. But let's get this activate on this side anyway. Activate. So we also want to get a stable on this asteroid as well. In fact, probably multiple. Let's put a pip stable here where there's trees. That's going to need a grooming station, a drop-off station, and 96 tiles. I find it a little challenging to find the right size. What I tend to do is just block it off to what kind of seems right, and then either dig out or create tiles based on what I need to do there. Let's also give this a light source. You can see that the dupes aren't going to be able to reach that. Let's see how do I best do this? You know what, maybe before I build this, let's just do the light source first. So this is where pips are going to go. We're going to have a dupe sensor, automation wire to turn off the light, and then of course the light right here. That will need some power. Connect into our power circuit. Let's make this the priority so I can... Oh, never mind. They already knew. They're smart dupes. Go over here. I see idleness. Alright, let's keep looking for hatches. If I dig out that water, that's just going to drain down there, so I guess that's fine. Any of these buried objects could potentially be a hatch. And let's dig down here as well. Okay, that should keep them busy for a little bit. So big focus is to try to limit the amount of multitasking. Oh, whoa. Because problems like this can happen where you don't notice something. I'm going to cut this wire. So this does 2 things. One, this hydrogen generator, it takes care of the excess hydrogen so that we don't have that filling up in the base, but it also produces power, so that's a really useful system. I paused research on incubator. I figured it's more important to get some stables together, and we'll finish the incubator stuff later on. Let's also mop up this, because this is going to be another stable. I made a decision. So I was trying to decide, do I put my living area down here or over here? I think I'm going to go over here. So I'm going to put the barracks up here. I'm going to get a nature reserve. And that means these 2 spots are going to be available for a stable. This is going to be the hatch stable and the pip stable up here. Alright, well I think that is my first episode. I will continue at this. It feels a bit odd filming things as I'm constructing things, but it's an experiment. We'll see what how this all goes. But give me your thoughts on what you think of this. I'm happy to make adjustments as I go. All right. Well, I will see you next episode.